I am Caitlin McDaniel. I am with Gaiety and Pride on Instagram. Hi, Alicia and Dexter. How are you?
So
Hi,
great. How are
Caitlin. How are
you?
you?
I'm great. I'm amazing. So excited to talk to you guys about season two. So pumped that it got another season. We're back again at Bayside.
Yes.
So, Dexter, what can you tell us about what's going on at Bayside in season two?
It's Saved by the Bell, so it's always big and better than ever, and especially with season two. So, we're coming back from COVID and we're coming back into this world of reopening up the high school again and seeing how everybody's lives have changed, not only from COVID, but also from season one into season two. Relationships have ended, new relationships have started beginning. And so I think the audience goes on a journey with us as the new six in the high school at Bayside of just finding out new stories of as these kids and these characters discover more about themselves.
And Alicia, just on the grain of discovering more about yourself, I love the, path that your character is on and where it's going. And, in season one, we had the breaking the boundaries of the football team, and we're just going to continue that. So can you just talk about, that aspect of your character?
Absolutely. I was beyond excited just to come back for season two. That's a blessing. That's not always a guarantee when you're on a show. But then interacting with the material from our amazing writers and our creator, Tracy Wakefield, I was like, wait a minute. Aisha gets to explore who she is and really go on her own individual path this season and kind of does a 180. First season, she gets really comfortable and rooted in who she is at Bayside and all of that's stripped away from her. But, it employs her to find out more about herself and she learns new things about her, which is really beautiful. And she struggles and there's definitely adversity throughout the season. But she comes out better from it because she evolves. So it was really exciting to see her advocate for herself in the classroom as an Afro Latina and, come out as bi and feel empowered by, her queer brothers and sisters in the season and find herself in a new relationship. It was just really beautiful. I was super grateful, to expand upon narratives that we had started first season, but take it further second season and really watch Aisha grow as a character.
Absolutely. I loved watching her grow in the relationships and the friendships and all of it was amazing to see. And just, going off of that with the diversity and the storylines that you get to see in this show. Dexter, how do these stories relate to what you went through in high school?
Wow, that's such a great question. My experience in my personal life was really similar to Devontae's, actually. Devontae is probably the closest character that I've ever played to myself. I grew up in a not so popular area, not so good area, and my mother worked her behind off to send me to a private school. So I grew up in the inner city and had the opportunity to go to school with kids who were much more well off than I was. So, bringing that to Devontae in season two, particularly now that he's kind of cemented himself and his legacy at Bayside, being a singer and also being interested in that submerging himself in this culture, working at the Max, getting a girlfriend, all of that kind of stuff. In my personal life too is kind of happening, getting in a relationship now and Devontae being in a relationship, doing this job again, Devontae working at the Max. So the linear the connectivity between Devontae and Dexter was really parallel in this show. So I was honored to just be able to do it again.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
great. And fans I know are so excited for a season two, but after season one, I mean, what was the reaction that fans had from seeing your characters on screen?
It was so cool. It was so cool. I mean, we see the DMs and the tweets, and I think Alicia and I are constantly talking about how representation matters. And it's so nice to see so many people and so many young fans and adult fans feel like they can finally see themselves on TV and finally be able to connect to somebody who's going through a journey of discovering their sexuality like Aisha is, or going through a journey of kind of cementing himself in a new school like Devontae is, and Lexi's journey in our show as well. I think everybody kind of goes through these like awakenings that the world needs to see. So when fans find the opportunity to relate, it really means a lot to us.
Yeah. It's honestly, just the greatest reward is someone watching our show and saying, oh my gosh, I personally connected, or I wish I had seen that growing up, or
Yeah.
I felt validated and empowered by your character. Representation is imperative and we need to see more of it. And diversity is super important. And when we talk about that, I wish we talked about it more expansively and more holistically. We need to see diversity of race, absolutely. As a Black woman, I will always voice that. But I also want to see people of different socioeconomic statuses, people of different sexualities. We need to see more non-binary and trans people on TV depicted in an authentic and genuine way. So we're really grateful to be a part of a show that allows people to say, I feel seen. And that is just the greatest reward as an artist. You know, I'm always over the moon, and that's, it's a blessing to be a part of a show that allows people to have these conversations at home as well. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's such a great season. I can't wait for people to see it. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you, Caitlin. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Like this video? Follow us for more.